Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we're going to get into some more advanced structure theory. So building on the understanding we've already got from the earlier videos and getting into exactly how we see structure and understand it on a deeper level. So I'll get straight in with the explanation and I'll go through some examples as well. So when structure moves in a trend like this is price pushing up. Could be called an uptrend, could be called a bullish market, could be called bullish structure, whatever technical term you want to use. The key part is price is pushing up clearly and structure is stepping up with it because we have a formation of higher lows, as we see this low higher than this low, and the higher highs with this high higher than this high. Now, the textbook shows you that when structure breaks, so for example here, we draw our level like this, and then this is the textbook break and retest of structure. Price will push, break the high, come back, retest the level where the broken high was, and then continue. This is about as textbook a break and retest of structure you will find, and we will see these often. But the key part comes in when we accept that the market is not always perfectly textbook. It doesn't always retest perfectly on the level like this. So what about if price breaks like this, but comes back to here? Is that still that valid bullish structure? Yes, because the higher or the retest is still, this is still a higher low, isn't it? Because this low is higher than here. So price has not broken down. It's not formed any bearish structure, meaning this is still valid. But what about when price comes a bit deeper down to here? If price does this, is this still valid bullish structure? Yes, again, because although it's the same low, it's not broken down. So there's no lower lows in this area, meaning that this is still bullish structure because we've got a broken high, we've come down, we've not made a lower low. Instead, we've caught the same low and pushed up again. So this is what a lot of people don't understand with structure. And they'll see that if price breaks this level, they will think we're now looking to go bearish. That's not the case. We'll stay flexible to where price shows us it wants to retest, and then we can continue from there. And how we do that is by understanding what I've just been through, that price can pull back anywhere between our retest level, where the broken structure was, and our level here, which we call the start of structural push, because this is the low that started the structural push that broke structure, also known as, and you'll see it written about in the group a lot, the SOSP. That says SOAP, not SOSP. The start of structural push. And this is where price can retest in. So what we actually know is that price can retest anywhere from here to here in this region. So either on this level, or between them, and still be valid for our structure still. Now, how do we trade that? We'll get into that specifically in some of the next videos, but the key part is to know that we will have a line here. This is our structure level, of course, the broken structure. Price can also pull back right to the start of structural push, or you'll see we use deep test zones for finding fluid areas within this region that price can retest. And we'll get into how we draw those in a later video. But essentially, this allows us to stay flexible to real structure. We're not trying to be too rigid by the textbook. Don't get me wrong, this will happen the majority of the time. But when price comes back, for example, to our deep test zone, which is in here, which again, I'll get into how to draw in another video, or it comes back to here, it is still valid. So we need to remember that, because this is still bullish structure, meaning that we can still take buys in this situation. The only time that this would become invalid is if instead price breaks and closes below the start of structural push. So that includes the wicks on the start of structural push, of course, because for it to be a structure break, we always need to see a candle break and close past all wicks. But this is the only time that this is now invalid, because at this point, what do we have? A lower low, because this low is lower than here. So that is a structure break where the start structural push is broken, and therefore the buy is not valid anymore. But all the time that price retests anywhere between here and above here, we are perfectly valid to still take our buy setup. So that is the explanation. I'll give a quick example here how this happens on this chart. So originally, here we have a bullish break. Price has broken, and you see here with the push up, it has broken this most recent high here. Now, price can potentially come back to retest here, but the start of structural push is here, because if we draw on the structure, you can see price goes like this. So price could still retest anywhere down to this region, and I'll draw it with a line for now, but I'll get into how we actually draw it properly in later videos. Price can retest in anywhere within this whole region and still be valid for buys, because as per what we've just talked about, price doesn't always go textbook. Sometimes it could go deeper and still be valid for a buy. What happens on the pullback down is exactly that. Price comes back in, we get our entry here, potentially, if there was one, because there was a retest, pushes back up, and then eventually comes back down. And now it is valid, because you see price is now pushed down and closed below the start of the structural push. So therefore, now this would be invalid for buys still, because we are clearly breaking the start of structural push, or have broken the start of structural push. So that's how it works in practice. Again, it will all become clearer the more you add the next videos into the strategy for you and you see it in practice with our actual rules. But that is more advanced structure theory, simplified into the rules we use every day in our trading. So thanks for listening to this one. I'll see you in the next video.